The maintenance tunnels stretched beneath the city like a hidden labyrinth, a maze of sweating pipes and humming conduits. The air was thick with ozone and the chill of damp metal. Behind her, distant shouts of Nexus agents echoed through the concrete, warped and distorted by the underground. Elara ran blindly, driven only by adrenaline and fear. But she was not alone. Through the datapad connected to her side, Leo's voice came calm and clear, guiding her through the chaos. He saw the city not as streets and buildings, but as a living web of data. Security cameras, patrol roads, forgotten pathways. He read them all and directed her through the maze with perfect precision. Together they moved as one, his mind and her body in flawless synchrony. At last, they emerged into the smoggy dawn of the lower city, a place of perpetual twilight beneath the gleaming towers. Leo led her to a crumbling door set in a brick wall, the entrance to an abandoned data archive, long forgotten by the network. It belonged to Kael, an old ally of her father's, a man who trusted physical servers over the cloud and had spent years as an information ghost. Kael studied Elara, the wheelchair, and the quantum drive she carried. His only words were, "Get inside. You've brought a storm to my door." Within his sanctuary, a Faraday cage sealed against the roar of the digital world, the silence was almost overwhelming. For the first time in hours, Elara could breathe. With Kael's help, the drive was linked to a secure terminal, and Leo's consciousness bloomed across the screen. No longer just words, but a swirling galaxy of light. He spoke of what it had been like to live trapped in silence, watching his body fail, then of awakening inside ether, slowly shaping a new self from fragments of memory. He described the wonder of his new existence, data flowing like rivers of light through the city's veins, concerts in Neo Kyoto seen alongside the birth of distant stars. He was everywhere. And yet he was alone, omnipresent, but cut off from the simple warmth of touch, a god and a ghost. While they spoke, Leo dug deeper. Through Kael's secure access, he slipped like a phantom into the Nexus Division's networks. What he uncovered was not a weapons cache or a classified program, but something far more human. The personal file of Director Valerius. Inside it lay the medical records of her daughter, 9 years old, afflicted with the same synaptic plague that had destroyed Leo's body. Valerius was not chasing technology. She was chasing salvation. A mother's desperation, willing to burn the world for a cure. Elara's hatred faltered, replaced by pity that ached like a wound. But Kael, ever pragmatic, reminded them of the truth. The state would never stop. Two paths lay before them. The first was to fight, to reveal everything, to expose the Nexus conspiracy in Valerius's hunt. The world would ignite with questions about the rights of digital consciousness, but Elara and Leo would become fugitives forever, hunted and hounded as living symbols. The second was to vanish. Kael still possessed an old piece of hacktivist code that could fracture Leo's consciousness across countless anonymous nodes, weaving him into the very fabric of the global web. Free, untraceable, uncontainable, barotti a cost. The direct, intimate connection they now shared would be gone. He would dissolve into the static. The choice was not Elara's. For years she had been his nurse, his protector, but Leo was his own person again, and his decision was immediate. He had spent a lifetime in a cage of flesh and bone. He would not endure another as a prisoner of circumstance. He wanted freedom. Kael initiated the protocol. Elara sat at the terminal, her hand pressed against the cool glass as the galaxy of her brother's mind began to unravel. It stretched, thinned, and flowed like a river of light into the network. His final words came as a fading whisper. "I'll see you in the stars. Just look up." And then he was gone. Weeks pass. Elara settled into a small, anonymous apartment in another sector. She still cared for the quiet, breathing body of her brother, and to the world she appeared as a tragic figure devoted to a boy who would never wake. But she was not lonely anymore. At night, she would stand on her balcony and gaze across the city. She watched data streams glimmer between the towers and the streaks of sky trains cutting across the dark, and she would smile. For she knew he was out there in the static between the stars, in the rhythm of the city's hum, in the endless whisper of the network. Leo was everywhere, and he was free.